So you want to know how to get others in your life to change for the better. Whether it's habits or addictions, it's honestly all the same. The only really change can come from within themselves. Just to be honest with anybody that's trying to get somebody to change. But some advice I can give to anybody who's listening, there's about, I would say, 3 things that I would recommend for people trying to help others in their life change for the better. The first one I would say would be empathetic. Understand where they're coming from. You know, these people, whether they have bad habits or they're straight up addicted to something, they do these things because they're comforting. They provide some relief in their lives. If they have bad habits, they don't think it's wrong. You just got to understand where they're coming from, and don't make them feel bad about it. That's one of the biggest turns offs, that people will completely shut you out of their thinking process. Second thing I would say is help them come to the realization that what they're doing has an effect on themselves, and most importantly, the people around them. I used to smoke nicotine. I used to do a lot of drinking. I used to think that these things were good. I used to think every time I wanted to do them, I would think about, oh, it's going to provide me some type of relief. It's going to make me feel good that night. And all these things are so good, but I never thought about the negatives. I knew I used to get hangovers. I used to feel like shit after the first, head high of the day from a nicotine hit. But you have to help them come to the realizations that there's a lot more negatives than there are positives. When people have bad habits or addictions, they're always thinking about the positives. That's why they keep scrolling. They get the dopamine rush just thinking about the thing. So you have to reinforce these negative thoughts about whether it's a bad habit or the substance that they're doing. So it has to come from within themselves. I had to start thinking that, nicotine's gross. If it's smoking cigarettes, if I didn't smoke cigarettes, but I smoked e-cigarettes, you could say like it makes me smell bad. You're like, it makes you smell bad. It's affecting your lungs. It's making the house smell. It's off-putting when we're at dinner. You got to take a break every time. It's affecting your children. Blah 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 blah. Give those things so every time they think about that thing or whatever, they stop thinking about the goods and they're thinking about the negatives. Once you start outweighing the negatives to the goods, you really, not always, you start to see things clearer. It really does have to come from you stopping those good patterns and really reinforcing those negative thought patterns. But once you help, you can help people realize that, come to that realization. But there's also other steps that you can do to do that. Yeah, the third thing, so if you can help the people you care about, realize what they're doing is bad. Obviously, it's not always, most of the time, they're not going to accept it. They're going to be like, oh, okay, whatever. Because it gives them that relief. So you just have to be patient and help enforce these thought patterns. It's going to take, it takes like 21 days to get a habit. So just thinking is the same thing as a habit also. So you have to help them, reinforce those thoughts. They have to use the front of their brain and consciously think about all the negative things. You have to help them think about all the negative things that come with that every time they want to think about it or want to do it. So the negatives outweigh the bad and it stops them. That's the only way you can get anyone to really stop doing anything. I've cut out drinking, I've cut out nicotine, I've cut out video games. You have to think first and only about the negatives that come with those things if you really want to get over them. As soon as you start thinking about the good stuff and get that dopamine hit, it's all downhill from there. It's just like, oh, it's going to make you feel better. It's the only thing you're thinking about. You're not thinking about, the effects or the circumstance or the bad things that come with that. I've gotten a lot of questions about like how to help others in my comments and, DMs. So if you want more help, get the Calendly link down below and hit me up. Set up a time we could talk about it. I can help you out if you want more advice, and we can go from there. See you guys later.